Hi there, I'm Alexander Watts, and I make videos. I started making videos when I was 15 or 16 using a program called VSDC Free Video Editor. I would record footage of me playing video games. Around the time I started, it was particularly Fortnite, but it's changed probably over a dozen times. VSD worked well for basic cuts and splicing, but once I started working on more complicated effects and images, it just lacked the capabilities I needed it to have. I eventually started looking for another software, and the general consensus online was that Adobe Premiere Pro was the best one. But at the time, I was in between work and couldn't afford a $40 a month price tag. So in the end, I settled on a program called DaVinci Resolve. It was free and, in all honesty, was relatively similar to Adobe Premiere. It worked great until I couldn't preview my clips before adding them to the sequence. It would lag and buffer even though the files were on my SSD. And it wasn't for a few months until I took a class overviewing several Adobe products, which gave me access to the student pricing for Premiere, that I was able to work on editing again. The class gave me a general overview of Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, and Audition, as well as a couple other softwares. And my final project for that class was a 4-minute video about a video game called Warframe. Since Premiere was so similar to DaVinci Resolve, the basic overview of the class was enough for me to understand the software, and I was able to use the final to really practice with Premiere. And the next semester, I took a class specifically devoted to Premiere itself. After reviewing the basics of the software, we were given our first assignment, a trailer for a piece of media. The kicker? It had to frame the media as being of a different genre than it really was, and it had to use no audio. I chose a series called Persona 3. I used footage of the game adaptation to create a trailer for the manga series, and I'm personally proud of how well I was able to frame it. Next up was a commercial for a product. I screen recorded the Steam software, which is a platform for gaming. You can purchase and download thousands of games, manage friends lists, and even buy some physical hardware from Steam. Third was a tutorial video of some sort. I chose a card game I play called Magic the Gathering and explained the process of building a deck. I really would have liked to go more in depth. Honestly, the video could have been hours long, but because of sensible time limitations, for assignments, I had to cut out a lot of details that I would have loved to share. Stuff like the different color of cards, types of cards, and different formats of the game that I just couldn't fit in because of the time. Finally, I had to make a video about a historic figure. One that I've really looked up to is Hidetaka Miyazaki, a Japanese game developer who was the creative director for the Dark Souls franchise. And all of those videos are on the page below this one. Video editing is really one of my favorite things to do. Between collecting footage and being able to see the progress of a video from 0 frames to thousands, it satiates my ADHD brain and allows me to be productive at the same time. There were 2 people that really inspired me to create videos, and both are YouTubers. The first is called The Russian Badger, and his content is created incredibly well. He'll spend a month at a time recording, animating, and editing a 20-minute video, and they're always incredibly funny and incredibly high quality, both things that I'd really like to learn how to do. The other is called Maxor. He'll spend a month at a time, at least, creating videos. The snapshots of his editing timeline that he's shared looks like a library bookshelf with the amount of sources on it. They both have been massive inspirations to me over the course of my time editing, both because of the entertainment value and the time they spend on their videos. I would really like to learn how to create the quality of edits that they do, which is why I started taking classes on Premiere in the first place. But more than anything, I know that it'll take practice. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off this camera and start practicing. Thanks for watching.